I grew up betting on dogs. That was my first foray into gambling for the most part.
I remember way back in the day, you was always in the bookies. I remember I used to come and meet you and stuff. You'd be like, yeah, I'm at Ladbrokes, I'm at William Hill.
Yeah, cool.
All the bookies always in there most of the time.
Yeah, if I was banned from one, I'd go to another.
Back in like teenage years and stuff. And
the bookies is a special place in London, man, where we're from. The bookies is a dodgy place.
It's a cultural thing.
Cultural thing, man. A lot of crime goes on in the bookies. I've seen some madness happen in the bookies, man.
Yeah, money, man.
I've seen stabbings happen in bookies. I've seen robberies happen in bookies. Bookies are a crazy place in London.
People don't play with their money, man.
But bro, people don't really know that, you know, like in other parts of the world, like bookmaking, like in America, they don't really have bookies like that. In Vegas, they have like big sports book casinos. They don't have bookies on a street corner like we do.
It's kind of like tucked away.
Yeah.
Like if you're not involved in gambling at all, like you don't really know too much about the bookies.
It's not even gambling though. It's more of a street shit, isn't it? Because people, basically in London,
Fast money, I guess.
People go there to wash their money though. Like you make £500 on the road from selling crack, and you go to the bookmaker and you put some bets on, and then now if you ever get stopped, you can prove that you made the money from there. It's just a way to wash your money, and obviously they stopped that, you know, because now you're not allowed to place. Well, it's hard to place big bets in bookmakers. I mean, bookmakers won't take a lot of money, and they did that back in the day as well. But
did you ever earn a lot in the bookies?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, a lot. You know, it depends on, like, now, compared to what I make now, it's pathetic, you know. But at the time, man, 16, 17 years old, not even legal to be in a bookmaker's, earning £500.
Yeah.
£500 at 16 years old, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane money. You know,
like, what, weeks and a half, 2 weeks worth of wages for some people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I make a lot of money in bookies. Bro, I rinse the bookies for a lot of money, man. Me and my, I won't say his name for a few reasons, but you know him. How can I say his name? How can I tell you who it is without saying his name?
Ukma.
Yeah. So obviously that's my guy, yeah. And obviously, like, we used to go to the bookies back in the day, and we used to do this scam in the bookmakers, right? Where basically we used to bet on dog racing. And in dog racing, there's only 6 dogs that race, right? And the dogs are numbered 1 to 6. That's how you tell them apart. Because obviously there's 6 dogs. You don't know which one is which, right? So each dog wears like a vest. And they're different colored, but they also have different numbers on them. So they're numbered 1 to 6. And what my mate used to do, he was the best because he had the best handwriting and he knew how to do it the best. I did it as well, but we basically used to write the number 2, but we used to make it look like a 4. I can't demonstrate right now. I ain't got a pen and paper, but you can imagine, like, think in your head the number 2. It's like cross like that, like number 2.
Yeah.
Like that, and then you go across, right?
Yeah.
So imagine if you write a 2, and then you just do one little slash in between the 2. It looks like a 4 now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but it looks like both numbers, right?
Yeah.
But you just do a little dash, right? And then we used to go up and place the bet. So basically now we've bet on 2 horses.
Yeah.
We've bet on 2 dogs.
Yeah.
Because if number 2 wins, we're like, yeah, that's a number 2. If number 4 wins, we're like, no, that's a number 4. And mate, sometimes they would accept it, sometimes they wouldn't. A lot of times, once you go up, they will clarify. If they're smart, right? If they're a good bookmaker, if they're the manager or something, if they're smart, they'll be like, oh, excuse me, mate, like, is this a 2 or a 4? Because it looks like both numbers, right? But they would maybe clarify like 30% of the time, 70% of the time, they're just stupid. They're just
doing their job.
They're just doing their job. They don't really know about gambling. They don't know about bookies. Especially those jobs are fucking bad jobs. So people used to leave very regularly. Every 6 weeks, they'd have a new staff member in every bookie across London. Because as I said, I've seen stabbings in bookmakers. The bookmakers used to get robbed all the time. How many robberies went on in bookmakers? Gunpoint, bomb, give me your money. The bookmakers, they give like $5,000 over and they leave all the time. So it's such a shitty place to be, which is where we grew up basically our entire life. Such a shitty place to hang out and be, or to work in, that they used to leave every 6 weeks, right? So we used to always get new staff members coming in, and I guess they didn't really tell them about our scam, because obviously we used to go all around London and different bookmakers, and sometimes they just wouldn't question it. So many times they just took the bet, and then we'd come out and I'd say to my mate, like, yeah, look, they accepted it and that. So we'd have like £20 on to win the number 2 dog, or it looks like a number 2. And if the number 2 dog won, I'm like, yeah, sweet, bang, we go back, we're like, yeah, here you go, mate, number 2 and that, and they just pay us out. But if the number 4 dog won, we go, here you go, mate. Like we just go up to the counter like nothing happened. Like, yeah, mate, I just got a winner. Here you go.
Yeah.
And like most of the time, they would question it. Very rarely, they would just take it because it doesn't look like a 4. It looks more like a 2, but it looks a little bit like a 4. So sometimes we got away with it just clean. But most of the time, they'd be like, this is a 2. And we're like, and then we'd have to argue it. I'm like, nah, mate, it's not a 2. This is a 4. This is a 4. Yeah. And we'd have to go back and forth argue. I'm like, mate, what do you mean? I put a 4 on. Give me my money. How can you take the money away from me? So
where there's a will, there's a way, man.
Yeah, man. We always had a massive edge over the bookies because we was betting on 2 dogs in a 6-dog race. So we had a massive chance to win.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had a few scams like that as well. But that was one of the...
hustler's mentality from young.
Yeah, man.
Always.
That was one of the funny scams we had back in the day in the bookies. I was doing that at 15 years old, man.
Yeah, so that's like way over 10 years ago.
Weren't even legal to be in the bookies at that point. I weren't allowed to be in the bookies, but there's ways around that, you know.
So, yeah, I mean, you've grown a lot in terms of the gambling stuff over the last 10 years.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Business owner and stuff like that, it's all fully legit now.
Yeah.